Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ibad Raza Sohail and I am here to present my math project, which topic is measures of central tendency. Now, let's start with explaining mean. Mean is the most used measure of central tendency, and mean represents the average of the given data, of the specific data. Now, we know what is mean, but how we can find out mean? There, the given formula is the specific formula to find out mean. There are basically two steps to find out mean. The first is to find out the sum of all of the values in the given data. Next step is to divide the sum of the values by the number of the values. The answer would be the mean. Now, for better understanding, let's do an example question. Now, let's suppose a boy named Majid got his result and his marks are as given. Now, it is written that we have to find out the mean. Okay, so first of all, we'll add all of the values which is which we have to find out the sum of the values, which is 540, and there are totally 6 subjects, which means there are the number of values is 6 and the sum of the values is 540. 540 divided by 6 is equals to 90, which means that we have find out the mean, which is 90. Next, we have the second measure of central tendency, median, which is actually basically the middle value of the data, and it also divides the data into equal halves. How to find out median? That's a question that would be answered in 4 steps, 4 steps by following the formula. Now, to find out median, first of all, we have to arrange the data in ascending order according according to the formula. Then we have to actually check if the number of values are even or if the number of values are odd. If if the number of values are odd, then we just have to find out the middle value and we would get the median. If the number of values are even, then we would be getting two middle values, which would which sum would be divided by 2 and we would get the median. Now, for better understanding, let's do an example question. As written, a batsman, the data represents the data represents some runs scored by a batsman in 10 matches. So, first we have to arrange the data in ascending order. Now that it is arranged, then then we have to we have to check if the number of values are even or odd. Since it is written that 10 matches, that means that the number of values are even. So the two middle values will be divided by will be added will the two middle values sum would be divided by 2. Since the two middle values are 67 and 78, their sum is to be divided by 2, which is equals to 72.5. Here comes the third measure of central tendency, mode, which is the most frequent value in the data, it is actually not, it is actually applied in some to check if there are some frequent events, or there are some patterns in our data, and it is also the only measure that cannot that may not be found in the data. If you want to find out more, that would be pretty easy, since you just have to find out which is the most frequent value in the data, and you would get the mode. It could be possible that you get two modes. The given data represents the temperature for a week. Now, 37 is the most frequent value, so that means that 37 is the mode. Finally comes the last measure of central tendency, range. Now, range is basically the difference between the highest and the lowest value. Range, the range is not commonly applied. To find out the range, we have to find out the highest and the lowest value. Next, we have to subtract the highest and the highest with the lowest value, and the answer we would get would be the range. In the given example question, it says that Ali and Sarah had set up a charity stall, and they did it for a week. The following data represents the number of muffins they sold every day in the week. Now, in order to find out the range, first of all, we have to find out the highest and the lowest value. The highest value being 55, the lowest value being 33. We have to subtract them both, which would equals to 22, which is our range. Thank you.